All right. Still need a little banter here.
I do like these kind of mid-year, early year releases just before spring and summer to get people excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation there for sure.
It does make it fun. And it's always nice to see new model stuff.
Yeah. All right, so Greg Woodward here with Grand Teton Harley-Davidson. We've got a new Sportster release here with Shane Fredrickson, our sales manager, and we're going to give you our live impressions of the model as we see it for the first time ourselves. Unlike other models that Harley's released, they haven't given the dealers any information on this. They've just given us teaser photos like they have the public. So we're going to give you our live impressions as we watch the video here ourselves.
All right.
The anticipation's building.
You can give us a countdown.
So any guesses here, Shane?
You know, just having seen some of the teaser pictures, I'm kind of hoping for a lighter weight rocket. That's really kind of prime in our market, I think, and rideability and versatility. That's kind of where my heart's at.
Yeah, I know the Iron 1200 wasn't carried over this year, so I suspect it's something to fill that void in the lineup.
I'm again hoping so. And anytime there's a gap drop out of something, it is always nice to have a replacement for it, for sure.
Seeing images, the teaser images, though, it definitely is going to have a Revolution engine in it.
Yeah, oh, for sure, for sure. It's definitely new technology, which I don't see them backing up from at this point. And from everything that the Pan Am and the Sportster S have proven already in the market, if that's the direction they're going, I'm going to be a happy guy.
Right. High performance engine.
Yes, yes, most definitely.
All right, here we go.
Dun dun. Form follows function. Huh.
The Sportster's got such a rich history here too, right? So
it does. It does.
It's a big release.
65 years in the making, as they say.
The Sportster is like the first American muscle on two wheels.
And there she goes.
Probably the most customized bike Harley's ever produced, just because of its era.
I agree.
Slide you to the back of the seat.
Tons of different applications.
From dirt to hardcore racing.
Oh, Nightster.
All right.
Reviving the Nightster name.
Cool.
See, I think it was 07 to 12 that the Nightster ran last.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a fun looking hallway. Wauwatosa, I've been there. That's a fun plant.
It is. Well, I imagine the team that was tasked with this product, I mean, they had to feel some weight, right?
Yeah.
Just with the Sportster's storied history here.
Well, with what it stands behind, they couldn't make it less than what it was before, right? It has to be an improvement on what they were doing in that platform originally. And with the Sportster S, like I said, being previously released, my hopes are pretty high.
We went back and forth on this guy a few times. Yeah, I think it's, about the experience when riding this bike. Don't screw up your lines.
Yeah.
I agree. That's one thing they've done very well in the last couple of years is build bikes based on experience.
What's up, guys?
It's the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah. With it being a Nightster, I wonder what the displacement's going to be. That's going to be one of the bigger questions answered, I think,
it really
today.
is. Well, that platform's been stable at 1250 so
With
far.
any Harley-Davidson, the engine is the heart of the motorcycle. And with Revolution Max, Pan America, and with Nightster, we've taken that really literally. We started with the engine, frames bolt to the front, subframes bolt to the back, and that's what creates the motorcycle.
We're delivering this powertrain with a brand new displacement.
Direction.
So 975 cc's.
Oh, 975, there we go.
There it is.
A downdraft air intake system that really helps this engine deliver torque, deliver power. Seeing it finally come together is pretty exciting.
Should be quite a bit lighter than the current Sportsters.
Need to be there. The soul
As
of
far
this
as
motorcycle
its
is,
nimbleness,
gritty and rebel and raw, and so that's where we get
the way
some
they
of these
bolt that in,
past-looking
and then that's going back
finishes
years in
and
Harley's
really
design
pull some of the
imagery too.
surfaces
But
forward
the
and
stiffness of
backwards,
chassis,
and
the
that's how we
directness
play
of
with
ride,
your eye and
that's
give
the
it
experience
visual
they talk
interest.
about.
Yeah, the Revolution Max has a really interesting combination of all that technology, all that performance, the power, the torque, but at the same time, it's got all the craftsmanship that comes along with being built at Pilgrim Road here in Milwaukee.
It is a good looking engine. Different than traditional, but
The weight of the new
Like it's sexy.
Nightster is 485 pounds. That's
Yeah,
nearly
485
80
pounds.
Wow.
That's a significant weight
Wow.
reduction. from even
pull
an
it up off the
883.
Yeah,
kickstand,
absolutely.
You'll feel how light this is.
And going
as you
up
ride
in
down the road, the handling
power,
that comes with it,
lighter
those
in
two
weight,
come
as we know,
together,
makes
and they
definitely a
really
little
make
better
the
power to weight
rocket
ratio
ship
for
of a
response.
motorcycle once you throw your leg over this.
And one of the biggest challenges with
Seat height would be
Nightster
the other
was
thing
trying
I'm
to
super
cram this
curious
like
about.
beast of an engine and fitting that into something that's recognizably Sportster, that has that iconic silhouette and that millions of people around the world are familiar with and know and love.
Very familiar fairing up front.
Absolutely. Wow, look
That's
at that
probably
top
one
over
of the
tank.
biggest points of tension in the project is how do you solve that combination
definitely
of
like those
fuel,
bars.
air volume, running into that
Similar rear
proportion
fender
and
to the
so
Iron
Yeah.
1200 that
people
just
expect.
exited.
And in the end, the dual
2-into-1
outboard shocks
exhaust.
and the architecture of the motorcycle allowed a really radical solution to put
And
the
it sits lower
fuel
too.
underneath
I
the
like
seat.
that.
Yeah, it's not
And
swept
that
up like the
frees up
Sportster S.
the
Correct.
area that would traditionally be the fuel tank up here to become only airbox, and it allowed us to get this into the size of the old Sportster fuel tank.
Did I hear that right? That's only airbox?
That's what I just heard.
Too, and we move the fuel tank underneath the seat
Oh,
here.
like the old V-Rod.
Yeah. Yep,
Gravity
I'll
of
be
the
darned.
bike stays low, which actually helps to
Right,
make
that
this
only
bike
adds to
feel
balance
even
and feel.
lighter and more
Rideability,
maneuverable.
flickability is what they
We've
used to call that
increased the
back in the
lean
day,
angle
but
by 3 to 5
that's
degrees on
changed.
each side of the bike compared
That's
to
awesome.
Sportsters of today. We have 3 ride modes: rain, road, and sport. Especially riding this bike in sport mode. This bike is fast. You can run it all the way out to over 9,000
It's like the other bikes that have the
And it
modes,
just
like
keeps
that sport
pulling,
mode's
Yes,
gonna
absolutely.
rip, yeah.
pulling the whole way.
Almost feels like you have two different types of engine, right? Like if you're used to riding Harley.
But I do like that rain mode for a beginner. Like Harley tells you how to put it in rain mode for a beginner, and so it's nice to see that on an entry-level model.
You've got like this whole other rev range and this whole other character that really brings the horsepower, brings
It
the
definitely makes the
speed and
rideability very
exhilaration to this
smooth
bike.
for a beginner.
So when we design a motorcycle,
Sport,
we're
the
always
exact
making
opposite.
sure that the choices that we make enable customization, and they allow riders and builders to make these bikes their own kind of instruments of expression. One small example of that on Nightster is that we're using a separate riser system, and that you could put tall risers on there, you put a differently shaped handlebar on there.
Awesome.
But the choices that we've made in the design in that particular area, they're not precluding any style of motorcycle. You can build it with clip-ons, you can build it with a T-bar, you can build it with ape hangers. Just really
The
flexible.
versatility in that is awesome.
That'll be great, yeah.
Wow.
Once the
People,
aftermarket gets a hold of this
Harley-Davidson,
too, there'll be
their
lots of
daytimes,
Yep.
accessories
night
available.
times and their
Well, whether or
weekends,
not you're going to rip out in
holidays,
corners
into
or
making this bike
cruise on the
what it
bike,
is
you can
here
have it set up
today.
for that. And
So
it
we're excited
sounds like a
to
little,
be able to
little
showcase
easier.
that effort and
do so.
send it off into the world and see what riders do with it, see what builders
Now, this
do with
Revolution
it,
engine
see
is
what
not
kind of
going to
life it
sound like the
takes on
Evo
beyond
engine.
these
No,
walls.
no, it's definitely not. But it's going to perform differently too, and into a positive inflection.
Right.
As much as I love the history and heritage and the benefits we've seen from technology, has
Right.
been pretty dang cool the last few years.
Win be good. All right. Yeah. First take. Just see what happens, mate.
See what happens.
I do like that they acknowledged, you know, that this bike is, you know, been one of the more customized bikes too, and that, you know, they've developed the platform, at least, you know, on the surface, to be customized.
To be able to continue that trend.
Yeah, so people can express themselves in their own way with it.
Absolutely. That's Harley's been all about for,
Harley-Davidson is an
well,
emotion.
since the beginning, isn't it?
You know, I
Since
spent
guys were bringing them
25
back
years
from wars and tearing them up and
working
making
on Harleys.
bobbers
On
and choppers
Sportsters.
and all kinds of crazy stuff
But
back
it's
in the day.
not just about the motorcycle, it's the
I think a
vibe,
lot of
it's the
people forget
community,
that
it's the
cycle,
art.
that cyclic
My work,
ability.
it's my life. My first Harley was a Sportster. My girlfriend's first Harley was a Sportster. First Harley I raced was a Sportster. It's
A lot of
versatile.
Harley riders, like
Great
the
canvas
Sportsters
for
where they
custom
started.
builds as well. You know, and now we've taken it to the next generation of the Sportster, and now I've got to redesign it. I mean, the good thing with custom building, there's no right and wrong. You know, it's like art. It's all, you know, down to someone's opinion. I kind of know how the bike is finished before I lay my hands on it. So I try to visualize it a lot before I start.
That is good looking.
Going over ideas back and forth, stand back, have a coffee, have another look, and I'm building in my head. I like to take a bike, strip it back to kind of what we have here, and then you can see the bones of everything. You know, what you can sacrifice, what you can move. Ah, there we go. So just trying to break that off.
Taking a brand new bike and breaking it up.
Yep.
Chopping it up.
Technology is light years ahead of what we've had before.
You got to know the
And,
factory and engineers as soon as that
animal
thing
at the
popped, it
moment,
all went.
loads and loads of power. It's very different to any Sportster that
That's cool.
we've ever seen. But when you take everything off and you look at the bare bones, the chassis, the motor, the swing and arm, the wheels, you know, it's very much a Sportster.
Oh, definitely chopping it.
Hacksaw style. But again,
Performance shocks, it looked like there.
yeah, this is
You know,
what
simple
has
design
made
is
the
sometimes
Sportster
the
the
best design.
Sportster.
It's an awesome looking machine, and that's kind of
Yeah,
what Sportster's
clip
been
on.
for many, many decades. If it's not broken, don't change it.
Lower and wider. And again, the versatility in that, with the fuel being so low, the balance, the weight, your center line of gravity, everything's going to balance off that fulcrum so nicely.
Oh, soft
Yep.
flats.
Ah.
I don't think of work as work. You know, this is just a way of life. It's what we do. I mean, my dad and I eat, sleep, and breathe motorcycles. Good afternoon, Perowitz.
People ask me how long you've been doing this. Well, the last job I had was 1970.
Good answer. The last job I had.
Yeah.
I have a
we
little
definitely
Strider
like to be
bike that's
noticed. We like
customized
to
by
stick
her.
out.
Oh, really? Dude, that's awesome.
But it's a nice bright color, and everyone will say, "Oh, which one's Jody Perowitz's bike? Oh, the teal one. Oh, I saw that one." I hope that when I'm to my dad's age, I still love what I do, because he's still after doing it for 50 years. He's still here every day.
I can tell the consistency of this paint, how long it takes before that stream turns
Stuff
to
is a
drip.
talent, isn't it?
It is. Not easily passed to
No.
other people.
I can't wait to get all these together and on the bike. People say that this is magic, can transform something into artwork.
How fun would that be to be one of the first to
It's
customize
something
one
Be
of
able
these
to
new
do
bikes?
that,
Yeah.
It can be anything.
Oh, just to
Gold
have it in your
leaf.
shop before anybody else and Google and all
Closer it's
over.
getting. Do we have a ratchet that we can get in there? A socket? A little.
That's pretty damn cool that they actually gave it to folks previous to be
I
able
think
to
it
give
looks
them
so
time to
cool.
do this.
Another O-ring, and then the space. Like that?
Yeah.
That looks sick.
Yeah, it does.
It should be out. No.
Ha!
Now that sounds good.
It does.
Wow.
That sounds so good.
Can't wait till it actually runs.
I know, me too. That's what I was thinking. Like,
It's about $5
yeah,
grand. It
well,
sounds really
like
good.
even just a little bit of throttle you can give it. It's like, ha!
Agreed.
Another custom shop.
Yeah.
What intrigues me is problem solving. I think of it as like a creative engineer. And thinking like, that can't be done, and then figuring out a way and making it happen. You know, typically when I start a build, I will literally spend more time
the airbox
staring
design
at it
looks pretty
than
good.
It does.
probably the time I spend executing it. There's a lot of different equations that need to work out in order to move forward with an idea. What I do, I think, take pride in is being able to build something that I know can handle on the track. Whenever I think of a hooligan bike, I think of like an older sporty somebody picked up pretty cheap, found in someone's garage, or dug it out of grandpa's barn or something. A few modifications to it, and then get out there and run it on the track, you know? That's sort of the whole concept with this. After staring at this new platform for a while, it just kind of lent itself to moving in that direction. I just think it's got more classic lines. It's more traditional Sportster. So that's kind of where we're heading with this deal here.
Like a flat track racer.
So check this out. This is going to be the yellow, which is going to be our secondary, but pretty much our primary color. And this will be black. Dude, even if we just, that's good.
Yeah.
That's going to work.
I think if you ask any custom builder out there, if there's one particular thing on a fully custom build, what really sets a lot of these builds apart, I think a real true custom exhaust does a lot.
Can't argue with that. It's one of the first things people have always seen, and third.
A lot of times I won't even build
first
the
things
exhaust
most
until
people
the rest
do,
of the
right?
chain's done.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then that'll be
Stage
the last
one
piece of
bars.
the puzzle.
It's just such an individual thing. It's really what makes it, again, very iconic.
If the lines didn't quite line up the way I wanted it to in this exhaust, I'd probably be rebuilding it. Yeah, making a new one. But lines, yeah. I don't like to build things that I know
that looks
aren't
good.
Yeah, I like his vision there.
I've got a few guys that ride really, really hard, so I know that we need to put some of the best equipment that we can on their builds because they need it. They're going to utilize it.
A lot of simplicity to the
me,
look,
that's
but
where-
definitely got the flat track vibe.
Oh yeah, that was almost a moto style posture on it too. That looks fun. What a great little ripper.
Come on. Come on, jawohl. Gut.
It's everywhere. Again, it's a all over the world bike. There's no restriction to that.
Yeah, that is one of the things that's driven the change here is the prior version Sportster just wasn't going to meet emissions requirements in Europe anymore.
Had to be advanced.
And pretty soon here in the US.
And again, though, it's cool because now we have, technology we didn't have 10, 15, 20 years ago, and we can make changes and still benefit from the performance-driven aspects. The motor itself, the way it derives the power, the way it handles the performance aspects clear through the transmission, and to include the way that the motor's mounted to the frame, stiffness, rigidity, performance aspects off the scale. So call it whatever you want, and there are a lot of people say emissions, yeah, but man, it sure drives the market, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It forces people to keep kind of up to date with things.
Das ist tatsächlich perfekt.
It's funny, the old dudes always slap the seat.
I'll check out what they did with the exhaust.
ganz
They
cool,
blacked
auch
the
vor allem
engine
für
out.
die Leute,
Oh, wow.
die sich Gedanken über die Sportster, die Nightster gemacht haben. Wir haben das jetzt gemacht, dass wir was Frisches daraus gemacht haben und die freuen sich bestimmt auch, dass wir jetzt nichts Neues machen wollten. Also nicht die Linie verändern wollten, weil dann ist ja deren Konzept zunichte gemacht.
Ja.
Das Feintuning.
Ja. Also eigentlich war es genau richtig.
It's the right thing to do.
Und es ist halt auch eine Kunst, weil du musst ja dieses moderne Paket auch wieder, dem muss ja auch eine klassische Linie geben.
Ja. Und jetzt ist alles schön flach. Hat auch echt eine gute Position, also auch wenn man weiter vorne sitzt als gedacht, aber das hat halt direkt diesen sportlichen Charakter. Ne?
Ja.
Speaker sounds good, yeah.
Perfekt.
Wow. Monster.
Monster.
Das ist geil.
Geil, ja. Jetzt müssen wir nur noch
Not the
fahren.
traditional lope, but you can hear the performance in it.
Anyone else?
Harley sure is focusing on the customization side of this bike.
Yes, they
All
are.
these little snippets. It is fun to see the different unique interpretations from around the globe too.
It is. It's interesting to see the little style cues kind of pull from one to the next. Been a couple of streeters, a couple of cruisers, just depending on what your perception of the bike is. And again, the uniqueness, that's where it comes from. Like this cat already, I dig his glasses. Whoa. Half a bike. He went to town.
Yeah, he did.
カスタムオートバイのカスタムビルダーになったのはもともとデザインの仕事がしたくて美術大学に行ったんですけどヨーロッパバイクのロッカーズっていう本かなを見てバイクすげえかっこいいと思って。
So a rocker style, alright.
それがあんまり肌に合わなくて、まあ、面白くなかった。
Yeah, that's going to be something else. I can't wait to see this.
That guy's going the distance.
Yeah, going all
オ
in.
ートバイをカスタムするっていう仕事をしてそれでビルダーになりたいカスタムバイクを作る仕事をしたいと思ってこの仕事をやっています。
Wow, he totally changed that.
カスタムするバイクで一番うちっていうか僕が大切にしてるのはもう全体のバランス。やっぱ一個一個のパーツがかっこよくても
It's really very cool that all of them have respected the basic standards of it, just trying to add to.
Yeah, the basic silhouette.
Yeah.
There again, the interpretation's been fun to see across the globe.
そうなると一人一人
See that raw looking
同じものを
exhaust?
作るっていうよりか個性みたいな。
Yeah, this guy's hand shaping his aluminum parts.
何でもそうだけどリンゴを100人描いたら100通りのリンゴがそれとバイクも一緒だと思うんですよ。
Know how to use those machines still.
Right. It's real art.
Yes, sir. Wow.
Kind of similar to the shop in California in terms of the paint job, right?
Yeah.
The style.
Yeah, the sweeping linear design. I like how he made that all one piece though, the tank body and the rear. Oh, I like that.
That is sharp.
I'd ride it. No doubt. His gas tank's cute.
Oh.
Oh, I like that.
Put the gauges somewhere else. Those
prac-
drag style bikes were doing that,
a little
right?
practical, but that's where you're on a drag bike. That's where you're facing. Me went to a split. Didn't go 2 into 1.
Changed the front end
Like
up quite a
the
bit.
fairing. Pulled the front fender.
There again, sounds good.
more of a slick on the back. That's tight. Every one of them, again, just a little bit different. And he's sitting in the corner over here, though.
Oh yeah.
And felt good.
Yeah.
That was a really nice time.
That was nice. That was a really nice time.
Performance.
So
Okay.
2 chuggy build, 2 chuggy melody, 2 chuggy power melody, and then you're off to wherever you want to go.
Stunts and actions of video were performed by professionals.
I wonder if this will be more of a stock version or if this is going to be one they've let somebody alter.
Kind of looks like that from the
Stock,
front, right? That it's more stock.
Yep.
Get out and play around with it here. Looks like the night rod in a way, right? Like a smaller version of the night rod.
It really does. Riding position looks pretty tight.
Mid controls, it looks like.
Pushing for that superior handling.
Is this one of those wall of deaths?
Kind of looks like it.
Yeah. I think it is. There we go. Have you seen one of those live?
No, never live,
Yeah.
just on videos, etc. The sound. That's crazy.
I always wondered, how do you start doing that? He decided, like, I'm going to do this.
This is what I want to do.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because motorcyclists have never been known for having the greatest
Standing on the
ideas, right?
sidelines.
Yeah.
or waiting for somebody else to approve, right? Some homage.
Well, I'm excited about this bike.
I am too. I can't wait to ride one.
Yeah. Well, like I mentioned up front, as a dealership, we didn't get as much information about this up front. So you got our, live impressions. We should have those as we get offline now, though, like all the specs, all the details. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll have a new video posted today with all of the details on the new Sportster.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the technical specs.